ever sat down to study English and after just a few minutes you feel tired, distracted, or even a little frustrated? Maybe you tell yourself, I should study more, but somehow it never feels easy.
Yeah, and sometimes it even feels like work instead of something enjoyable. You open a book or an app, and instead of feeling excited, you feel pressure.
Exactly, and that's what we want to change today. In this conversation, we're going to show you how studying English can feel lighter, calmer, and even enjoyable.
We'll talk about simple habits, small routines, and real feelings that many learners experience, and how to make things easier step by step.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Leo.
If you enjoy these relaxed, real-life English conversations, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the English Talk channel.
All right, let's get into it.
So, Leo, can I ask you something honestly?
Of course.
Have you ever felt a little overwhelmed when studying English?
More than a little. There were times when I opened my notebook, looked at the page, and just didn't know where to start.
I understand that. It's like your brain freezes for a moment.
Exactly. And then I would think, I need to study everything, grammar, vocabulary, listening, and suddenly it felt too heavy.
That makes sense. When something feels too big, it's hard to begin.
Right, and sometimes I would study for 1 hour, but I didn't enjoy it at all.
That's important because if you don't enjoy the process, it's hard to stay consistent.
Yeah, consistency is the hard part, not motivation, but doing it every day.
I see what you mean. Motivation comes and goes, but habits, they stay.
Exactly.
So what changed for you?
Honestly, I stopped trying to study perfectly.
That sounds interesting. What do you mean by that?
I used to think I needed a perfect plan, like today I will study grammar for 30 minutes, then vocabulary, but now I just focus on something small and simple.
That's a big change.
Yeah, for example, sometimes I just read one page of a book. That's it.
Only one page?
Only one page. And the funny thing is, sometimes I end up reading more.
That makes sense. Starting is the hardest part.
Exactly. Once you start, it feels easier to continue.
You know, that reminds me of something. When I was learning a new language, I told myself just 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes?
Yes, I would sit down with a notebook and write for 5 minutes. No pressure.
And did it work?
It did, because 5 minutes feels easy. It doesn't feel scary.
That's true. Anyone can do 5 minutes.
Exactly, and most days those 5 minutes became 10 or 15.
That's a really good approach. By the way, I actually like using a simple notebook for this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nothing fancy, just a clean notebook where I can write words, sentences, or even small thoughts in English. Actually, I added some simple options in the description with links in case you want something similar.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep it simple, nothing complicated.
I like that. Sometimes when things are too complicated, we don't even start.
Exactly. This way, it feels easy to sit down and just write something small. Don't worry about mistakes.
And I think having your own notebook makes it feel more personal too.
It really does. It's like your own space to practice without pressure.
That's important, especially for learners who feel nervous about making mistakes.
Right. In a notebook, there's no judgment. You can try, make mistakes, and improve over time.
That makes sense. It becomes part of your daily routine, not something stressful.
Exactly. Just a few minutes, a few lines, and that's enough.
Wait, can I ask you something?
Sure.
When you say you don't worry about mistakes, what do you mean exactly?
Good question. I mean, I don't stop every time I make a mistake. I just keep going.
Ah, I see. So you focus on flow, not perfection.
Exactly.
That's a great idea.
Actually, that word flow is really useful.
Yes, it is.
When you are in the flow, it means you are relaxed, focused, and things feel natural.
Right. So instead of stopping all the time, you stay in the flow.
Exactly.
What about your daily routine? Do you study at the same time every day?
Not always at the same time, but usually in the evening.
Why the evening?
Because it's quiet. I can relax, maybe have a cup of tea, and just spend time with English.
That sounds very cozy.
Yeah, I think that's the key. It doesn't feel like studying, it feels like a calm moment.
I like that. I think many learners try to study when they are already tired or stressed.
That's true, and then it becomes even harder.
Exactly. So maybe it's not just about what you study, but how you feel when you study.
That's a really important point. Another thing that helped me a lot was listening.
Listening to what?
Podcasts, videos, conversations like this. Things that feel natural and not too fast.
That's great.
And I don't always try to understand every word.
That's interesting. I think many learners feel they need to understand everything.
Yeah, I used to feel that way too, but now I focus more on the general idea, the feeling of the conversation.
I see. So you're listening more for meaning, not for perfection.
Exactly. And sometimes I do something called shadowing.
Shadowing. Can you explain that?
Sure. Shadowing is when you listen to someone speaking and you repeat what they say almost at the same time.
Oh, right. Like speaking along with the audio.
Yes, exactly. Not perfectly, just following the rhythm and sound.
That sounds like a really good way to practice speaking.
It is. It helps with pronunciation and also with confidence.
Do you do that every day?
Not every day, just when I feel like it. Sometimes I just listen, sometimes I repeat, and sometimes I just relax and enjoy the content.
I like that approach. It feels flexible.
Yeah, and that's the key for me. If it feels flexible, I don't feel pressure.
That makes sense.
And when there's no pressure, it's much easier to keep going. I remember one time I was listening while walking outside. I didn't catch everything, but I understood the general idea.
And how did that feel?
Honestly, it felt really good, like progress without pressure.
That's a great feeling. I also think having a good book helps a lot.
What kind of book?
Something simple, interesting, and not too difficult.
That's important.
If the book is too hard, you feel frustrated.
Right, but if it's just a little challenging, it feels motivating. Can I be honest about something else?
Of course.
Sometimes I don't feel like studying at all.
That's completely normal.
And on those days, I used to skip everything.
What do you do now?
Now I do something very small, maybe just one video or one sentence.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah, because I keep the habit alive.
That's really the secret, right? Not stopping.
Exactly. Even small steps count.
And over time, those small steps become big progress.
That's true.
I think another important thing is being kind to yourself.
I agree.
Learning a language takes time.
And everyone learns at a different pace.
Exactly.
So if we think about it, studying English doesn't need to be stressful.
Not at all. It can be simple, calm, and even enjoyable.
Just small habits, a little time every day, and the right mindset.
That's right. We hope this conversation helped you feel a little more relaxed about studying English.
Remember, you don't need to be perfect. Just start small, stay consistent, and enjoy the process.
You're doing better than you think.
And every step you take matters.
If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the English Talk channel.
And if you're looking for simple tools like notebooks or easy books,
links are in the description if you want to check them out. Just so you know, all of them are affiliate links, which means we may receive a small commission at no extra cost to you.
thanks for spending this time with us.
Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.
Goodbye.